The stench of ozone, sweat, and ion burn clung to the recycled air of Nexus Red, the galaxy's most notorious black market port. Hidden within a fragmented asteroid chain and veiled by sensor-disrupting plasma fields, it was the place you went to disappear, or to do things the law would never allow. Captain Darren Voss hated it with every fiber of his being. He moved quickly through the chaos, boots clanking on rusted catwalks as he pushed past merchants hawking genetically spliced pets, cybernetic implants, and weapons outlawed in half the known systems. He muttered under his breath, "Damn dust hole," as a vendor tried to shove a crate of black market stims into his path. His temper was already raw. The Cinderwolf, his aging long-haul freighter, was crippled. A rupture in its CO2 filtration array had forced a hard shutdown on life support. No spare parts anywhere in regulated space. Not without a month's wait. That left this rock, and its market of desperation. His earpiece buzzed. "You find the filter core yet?" came Rilo's voice, his engineer and closest friend. "Not yet," Darren replied. "This place is crawling with predators. We've got 22 hours max before O2 goes red," Rilo warned. "That's if we recycle every damn breath." Darren swore and ended the call. The pressure was building fast. He turned a corner and found himself in one of the darker levels, where the walls wept condensation and the lighting flickered like dying stars. It was quieter here. Too quiet. Which was why the muffled whimper drew his attention. A cage. Thick bars. Heavy locks. And inside, three figures huddled together on the floor. They weren't human. That was clear. Their skin was deep violet, speckled with faint bioluminescent patterns like stars scattered across a night sky. Their eyes, wide and luminous gold, blinked in sync as they tracked him. Delicate ears rose from their heads, twitching with tension. A crude sign above the cage read, "Triune Lot, rare siren stock, edible/breedable, sold by Massachusetts." Darren felt his gut twist. Darren couldn't look away. The three alien women, clearly sentient, were barely clothed, draped in tattered strips of what had once been ceremonial silks. Their eyes held no defiance, only resignation. Slavery was illegal in every major system, but here, everything had a price. A voice slithered through the shadows. "Human captain shows interest, yes?" The speaker emerged from behind a metal post, an Erection slaver, rotund and scaled, with a set of breathing tubes hissing softly from behind its shoulders. "These are Dovanii. Very rare. Soft. Singers. Exotic flavors for highborn tongues. Special deal for you, yes?" Darren's jaw clenched. "They're alive." "Of course. Live flesh always fresher." The slaver's tongue flicked as it leaned in. "Unless you prefer breeding stock. Their kind bonds deep. But they take human seed well." Darren felt the bow rise. One of the Dovanii shifted. The tallest, with swirling silver lines across her cheeks, sat up straighter and placed herself in front of the other two. Her golden eyes met his. Not pleading, just waiting. She'd seen hundreds walk past. None had stopped. Until now. "How much?" Darren asked, his voice cold. The slaver's eyes glittered. For all three?" "A fortune. You pay, you own. Full rights. Including genetic product." Darren named a figure, what he had left after buying the filter core. It wasn't enough. The slaver scoffed and turned to walk away. "Half now. Half in trade," Darren offered. "You like weapons?" A long pause. "What kind?" Terran Class 4 Disruptor. Twin barrels. No serials. Fresh off a defector from the Abra fleet. The slaver's tongue curled with greed. "Tempting. Very tempting." They haggled. 10 minutes of tense back and forth, until the Erection finally snarled. "Deal. But no refunds if they expire." He keyed in a release sequence. The heavy cage door swung open with a groan. The tallest Dovanii remained motionless, eyes fixed on Darren. One of the others trembled, lips parting slightly in fear. Darren crouched, palms open. I'm not going to hurt you. My name's Captain Voss. You're free now. The tall one tilted her head. You are different, she said softly. Just lucky enough to have a conscience, he replied. She touched his hand, her fingers soft, warm, cautious. I am Kayla. These are my bond sisters, Irene and Sela. Kayla's touch lingered for a moment, and Darren felt a strange pulse under his skin, like static electricity brushing his nerves. It wasn't unpleasant, just unexpected. Her fingers trembled as she withdrew, then helped Irene and Sela to their feet. They were light, frail from captivity, but moved with a grace that suggested strength hidden beneath hunger and trauma. You can walk? Darren asked. Kayla nodded. Yes. Weak but whole. He shrugged off his weather-worn jacket and draped it around her shoulders. She gave a quiet thanks. Irene and Sela leaned into each other, their steps wobbly as they followed. Darren motioned them to stay close. We don't want attention. Too late, Kayla whispered, eyes flicking to the slaver, who was already making a call on a comms device. He will sell us again if you leave us. Let him try, Darren muttered, hand brushing the butt of his sidearm. They moved quickly, weaving through the rusting corridors of Nexus Red. The girls drew stares, hungry ones, but no one dared challenge Darren. Not yet. He kept one hand on his holster, the other ready to shove the Dovanii into cover at the first sign of trouble. His communicator buzzed. You alive? Came Rilo's voice. Barely. Change of plan. I'm listening. I'm bringing passengers. We've got about 20 hours left on scrubbers. You find another part? Nope. Only one in stock. Vendor wants more credits than we've got and 2 crates of military-grade stims. We're screwed. Darren cursed. His gamble had just gotten worse. The part they needed to keep everyone breathing sat on a vendor's shelf not 50 meters from here. He'd held it in his hands earlier, but after freeing the Dovanii, he no longer had the credits to pay for it. Morality had a price. Apparently it was oxygen. He ducked into a shadowed access corridor and turned to the sisters. I have to get a part or we're not making it out of here. Kayla stepped close, her violet skin shimmering slightly under the corridor lights. You spent your wealth on us. Why? Because no one else would, Darren replied flatly. She studied him for a moment, then said quietly, We help. We owe. You owe nothing, he said. But if you want to get out of here alive, I need a distraction. Kayla's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Dovanii have ways, she said. What kind of ways? Darren asked, already wary of any plan that wasn't his. Nature gave us voice and scent, she replied cryptically. Some species call it a gift. Others a weapon. Be more specific. Kayla's tone dropped to a near whisper. We sing. And when we do, most creatures stop thinking. Darren blinked. You're telling me you can hypnotize people? Not control, she corrected. But bend attention. Disorient. Confuse. Enough to let you steal a part, perhaps? Darren glanced at the other 2 sisters. Irene and Sela were watching quietly, their large eyes unreadable. You all do this? Yes. Especially when we sing together. Darren hesitated. He wasn't a thief. He didn't like stealing from backwater scavengers, even the shady ones. But this wasn't about ethics anymore, it was survival. All right, he said. Let's do it. Minutes later, they reached the merchant stall, an armor-plated shack lined with stripped ship parts. The filtration array sat dead center on the display shelf like a holy relic. Inside, the vendor, an old Macarian with twitchy metal limbs, was preoccupied with calibrating a servo tool. Darren pointed toward a side alley. Sing over there. When heads start turning, I'll move. Kayla gave a sharp nod and took her sisters by the hand. The 3 moved together like dancers, silent, fluid, and took their position in the shadows. Then they began. The sound was nothing like Darren expected. No words. Just a resonance, harmonic and soft, vibrating like it came from beneath the skin of reality itself. It shimmered in the air. A layered chorus that made the flickering lights seem to slow. Even Darren, aware of the plan, had to shake off a creeping fog that settled in his mind. Around them, nearby vendors began drifting toward the sound, eyes glassy, steps unsteady. The Macarian dropped his tool, staring as if caught in a dream. That was all Darren needed. He slipped into the shack, hands fast. He grabbed the filter core, damn thing weighed a ton, and slipped it into his pack. The hum of the girl's song was starting to rattle his bones now, but he pressed through, muttering, "Got it." He made it 20 steps before an alarm blared from inside the shack. "Shit," he muttered, bolting. The trance shattered. The Macarian screamed. Security klaxons howled to life. Red lights pulsed along the ceiling. Darren turned back. "Run!" Kayla and her sisters were already sprinting toward him, their song cut off mid-tone. The haze was gone now, replaced with chaos, barking enforcers, armed drones rising from hatches. They had minutes. Maybe less. Darren sprinted down the corridor with the filter core slamming against his back, the 3 Dovanii on his heels. Security drones hissed overhead, scanning with crimson beams that flicked between crates and shadows. The alarm's wail echoed like a death knell through the market tunnels. Kayla's voice was strained but controlled. Left turn. Maintenance duct. He didn't ask how she knew, just trusted, and pivoted hard. The others followed, Iron stumbling but keeping pace, Sela's claws scraping metal for balance. "Rilo!" Darren barked into his calm, breathless. "Open Bay 4. We're coming in hot. Already moving. But you've got 3 aerials tailing you. We'll lose them in the tunnel system. I'll prep the jump." Darren slid down a sloping ramp, boots sparking against corroded steel. At the base, a ventilation shaft yawned open, half collapsed, stinking of oil and ozone. He shoved the others through, then followed, grunting as the bulk of the parts scraped against the walls. Inside, the shaft was tight. The Dovanii moved quickly, their bodies agile and cat-like, leading the way through the twisting ducts. Darren followed as fast as his broad frame allowed, panting, cursing, heart hammering. Kayla glanced back. "You slowing? You're half my size. Then you should go faster." He almost laughed, but the shaft shook suddenly, an explosion somewhere close. Heat and dust rolled through the tunnel. "Keep going!" he shouted. They burst out of the shaft into a service corridor near the docking bays. Red lights strobed across the bulkheads, and guards were flooding the sector from both ends. Kayla didn't hesitate. "No," she said, and all 3 sisters began to sing again. But this time, it was stronger. The guards stumbled, their rifles dipping. One dropped to his knees, face slack, drooling. Another simply sat down, staring into space as though he were watching a dream he didn't want to end. Darren blasted the door to Bay 4 open. "Go, go!" The girls raced aboard. Darren turned, fired a few suppression shots, and followed. As he hit the ramp, it retracted beneath him with a metallic whir. "Seal it!" he shouted. The hatch slammed shut. Inside, Rilo met them, wild-eyed, his sleeves black with coolant. "You have 10 seconds before this ship dies of air loss." "Got the part." Darren slammed the filter core into his arms. "Plug it in. Now." Rilo bolted toward engineering. Darren leaned against the wall, catching his breath. The Dovanii huddled together in the corner of the cargo bay, Kayla's golden eyes locked on his. She moved forward slowly and placed a hand against his chest. "You chose us over air." "Yeah," he said. "Stupid, right?" She shook her head. "No. Rare." The Cinderwolf shuddered as its engines fired. Outside the viewport, Nexus Red began shrinking behind them, a tangled nest of metal and misery disappearing into the void. Darren felt the soft shift in pressure as the life support system rebooted. Cool, recycled air surged through the vents. "Filtration's live!" Rilo's voice crackled over comms. "O2 rising. Still tastes like burnt toast, but we won't die. Darren exhaled. His knees nearly gave out. Kayla stood nearby, her sisters close behind her. All three had their backs pressed to the bulkhead, watching everything with the wide-eyed alertness of prey that had learned not to relax, even in a cage with the door open. He crouched in front of them. We're safe. For now. Safe is never long. Sela murmured, her voice soft and musical. No, Kayla agreed. But safer with you. Darren smiled faintly. We're a freighter, not a fortress. But I'll do what I can. Kayla tilted her head, her violet hair brushing her shoulders. You still do not ask. Ask what? Who we are. What was done to us? What made us so expensive? Darren leaned back against the wall. Figured you'd tell me when you were ready. There was a silence between them, broken only by the soft hum of the engines. Then Kayla said, We are not just Ovanii. We are born of the triune bloodline. 3 sisters. One mind. One voice. That's why they caged us together. Apart we are rare. Together we are legend. Legend? Darren asked. You mean myth? No. Weapon. She stood, slowly, eyes glowing faintly. Our songs can blind. Our scent can bend. Our touch can bond. We were meant to protect our people, to carry memory and power from one generation to the next. But the galaxy decided we were worth more in cages. Sela stepped forward. Our blood is unique. Contains something the consortium calls Echo Strand. It enhances cognition. Telepathy. Some say, control. Let me guess. Darren said grimly. They don't just want you for your looks. Kayla nodded. They want our blood. To drink. To distill. To sell. Darren's stomach churned. So they were harvesting you. Not yet, Iron said quietly. But soon. He stood and turned toward the cockpit, anger building like a fire behind his ribs. Not anymore. Kayla followed. We are bonded now, Captain. You feel it, yes? He hesitated. Yeah. I do. The words echoed through Darren's mind long after Kayla said them. Bonded. He wasn't entirely sure what she meant, but ever since he touched her hand in that cage, something had changed. His instincts were sharper. He could feel her presence in a way that defied language, like a whisper in the back of his thoughts that wasn't his own. He made his way to the cockpit, Kayla trailing behind. The Cinderwolf's control panel flickered to life as he slid into the pilot's seat. Outside, stars streamed past. Behind them, Nexus Red was nothing but a shadow fading into oblivion. Kayla placed a hand on the back of his chair. We should not linger in known space. You're not wrong. Darren tapped coordinates on the NAV console. But we need fuel. Supplies. A safe zone to lay low while I figure out what the hell we've just walked into. He paused. There's a gas mining colony near the freight belt. Abandoned now, but it has docking ports. We can hide there for a few days. Good, she said. You're thinking like a bonded. He turned to face her. Okay, you keep saying that word like it means more than just trust. It does, Kayla replied. When we are touched, physically and psychically, by someone who saves our life, something awakens. A connection forms. It's instinct. Deeper than choice. If we open ourselves to it, it grows. Darren frowned. So what? You're saying you're imprinted on me? Not like a pet, she said with the smallest smirk. Like a soul echo. A mirror of intent. When you touched me, when you gave up everything for us, I felt it. So did my sisters. And now, we begin to feel your thoughts. And you will feel ours. He was quiet a moment. Then, what happens if we're separated? Kayla's smile faded. Pain. That single word landed like an asteroid in his chest. He didn't answer. Instead, he turned back to the NAV screen and initiated the course to the freight belt. It would take 5 hours, plenty of time to think. Too much time, maybe. Behind him, Kayla said softly. You didn't just save our lives, Darren Voss. You changed them. You changed everything. Her voice was gentle, but in it he felt a current of something stronger than gratitude. Something that terrified him more than the consortium ever could. The Cinderwolf emerged from hypershift 5 hours later, its hull groaning in protest as the engines cooled. The freight belt stretched ahead, a vast region of slowly collapsing gas giants surrounded by ancient mining colonies, most abandoned after the helium riots 20 years ago. Darren brought the ship into a slow glide around the rim of a pale yellow world. Its atmosphere shimmered like oil on water, torn by constant storms. Orbiting it was Outpost Kuras, a derelict structure that once hosted hundreds of miners. Now it was a floating skeleton, perfect for laying low. He maneuvered the freighter into Dock Bay 12, avoiding the broken scaffolding and half-collapsed gantries. The docking clamps engaged with a metallic groan, and the ship settled into silence. Rilo joined him on the bridge, running a quick scan of the bay. Radiation's minimal. Gravity stable. No signs of life. Good, Darren muttered. We'll stay here for 2 days. Maybe 3. He turned toward Kayla and her sisters, who stood quietly behind them. Each wore patched clothes from the ship's emergency stores, utility coveralls that clung awkwardly to their lithe forms but offered dignity they hadn't had in weeks. Their glowing skin had dimmed slightly, no longer pulsing with the sharp fluorescence of survival mode. They looked tired, but safer. We'll do system repairs first, Darren said. Then we figure out where to go next. Somewhere the consortium can't reach, Sela whispered. That's a tall order, Rilo muttered. They've got eyes everywhere. Not in the rift zones, Iron said, surprising everyone. There are places where minds can't be read. Places too quiet for thought. Darren raised an eyebrow. You know this how? She hesitated, glancing at Kayla. We were taught things before our capture, Kayla explained. Our lineage was not only genetic. We were raised to remember old routes, forgotten technologies. Things the consortium would kill to possess. Like what? Kayla stepped closer. There's a relay station near the Dross conflux. If we can reach it, we can call them. Call who? Rilo asked, suspicious. The Dovanii who escaped. The ones still free. The ones waiting. Darren sat back, exhaling slowly. So not only are you rare, you're the key to rallying whatever's left of your people. Kayla nodded. We are the last of the triune line. 3 sisters. 1 echo. And suddenly, everything made more sense. The price, the pursuit, the desperation of those who'd caged them. They weren't just slaves. They were symbols. And if they survived, the galaxy might never be the same. Later that cycle, Darren stood alone in the Cinderwolf's engine room, staring at the humming filtration unit. It pulsed with steady light now, oxygen levels normal. Rilo had done a hell of a job patching it together. The part Darren had stolen, it was still warm. Still saving them. He leaned on the railing, the hum of the engine masking his thoughts. He'd broken the law. Spent everything. Risked everything. For 3 alien women he hadn't known a day. Why? Because it was right. But more than that. He could feel them. Especially Kayla. Like a thread pulled tight through the space between them, humming at the edge of thought. She was near now. He didn't need to see her to know. Her presence glowed against his mind like a heat source in the cold. She stepped into the engine room quietly. I didn't mean to disturb, Kayla said softly. You didn't. She approached slowly, her bare feet soundless on the steel. You feel it more now? He nodded. Yeah. It's like you're under my skin. That is what we call echo resonance. She reached out and touched the railing beside his hand, not quite touching him yet. With time, our minds overlap. You will hear us before we speak. Feel us before we move. Is that dangerous? Only if you lie. Darren gave a low, tired chuckle. That's not my style. Kayla looked down at the engine core. its glow reflected in her golden eyes, making them look molten. There is more you should know. He turned toward her. Our bond, it's deepening. Not just because of proximity. When you rescued us, when we sang and you endured, it marked you. But when we connected through the trance, something passed between us. He stiffened. Something like what? Our blood, she said simply. Not by cut or blade. By energy. It reacts to emotion, to closeness, to trust. When given freely, it latches on. You're saying I have Dovanii blood in me? A trace. Enough that we can speak in ways humans can't. And enough that we are no longer just Dovanii, and you are no longer just human. Darren didn't know how to respond, but his heart was racing. He could feel her pulse sinking with his. Kayla stepped closer. Their hands finally touched, just fingers, but the spark that passed between them was more than physical. We are becoming something new, she whispered. And in the humming silence of the engine room, Darren Voss realized he might be at the center of a transformation far greater than he could have imagined. The next morning, the Cinderwolf stirred with life again. Darren found Rilo in the cockpit, boots up on the console, munching on a nutrition bar with the lazy confidence of someone who knew trouble was overdue. You sleep? Rilo asked without looking. Barely. Yeah, me either. He took another bite. I keep dreaming about those girls. Weird shit. Voices in the dark. Singing stars. Darren stiffened. What kind of voices? Hard to explain. One of them said my name last night. Not out loud. In my head. Darren's stomach turned. So it wasn't just him. The bond wasn't limited to Kayla. Or maybe it was spreading faster than they thought. Before he could reply, an alert chimed. Long-range sensors had picked up a ship entering the system. Rilo bolted upright, crumbs flying. That signature's fast. Real fast. Consortium? Darren asked. Rilo ran the scan twice. No IFF tag. But it's burning toward us like it already knows where we are. Darren slapped the intercom. Kayla, Iron, Sela, get to the bridge. Now. They arrived moments later, their hair still damp from a shared shower, each wearing fitted pilot jumpsuits they had tailored to their willowy frames. Kayla's eyes locked on the readout and went wide. It's him, she whispered. Who? Rilo asked. Vorik. The one who took us. He drinks Dovanii blood by the vial. His mind is not his own anymore. He's changed. Into what? Darren asked. A devourer, Sela answered. One who eats minds until nothing remains. Can he track you through the bond? Darren asked, already knowing the answer. No, Kayla replied. But the blood, the resonance. Our children. Rilo choked. Wait. Children? All three sisters looked to Darren. He sighed. It's complicated. Kayla stepped forward. We are already bonded, and we carry his line. Rilo blinked. You're serious? Very. Silence. Then, you dogs move fast. The joke didn't help. Darren turned back to the screen. The enemy ship was closing. Too fast. Too direct. They've got a trace, he muttered. Maybe from the filter core. Iron stepped up. There's something inside it. I feel it. A sliver of noise. Noise? A frequency. Hidden. Like a whisper. Rilo was already halfway out of his seat. Then we're tearing it apart. Now. Kayla grabbed Darren's wrist. If it is what I think it is, they'll not just find us. They'll know what we've become. Darren stared into her eyes. We need to disappear, she said. And with that, the war for their future truly began. The engine bay was alive with chaos. Rilo had torn apart the freshly installed filtration unit, exposing circuits and crystal cores, his grease-stained hands moving with frantic precision. Sparks flew. The sisters stood nearby, their expressions tense, their skin dimmed to a soft lavender under the bay's low light. It's here, Irene said, her head tilted, pupils blown wide.
I'll just get rid of
Middle
the
housing. Underneath the power array. You're sure? Rilo asked, sweat dotting his brow. I don't hear like you do, she replied. I feel the code. With a flick of his spanner, Rilo popped a hidden panel, and froze. Embedded inside, sealed in resin, was a tiny hexagonal shard pulsing faintly red. The moment it was exposed, every console aboard the Cinderwolf flickered. That's no tracking beacon, Rilo muttered. That's a goddamn siphon node. What's it do? Darren asked. Broadcasts neurological signatures in short bursts, Rilo replied grimly. It's not tracking you, it's tracking them. Or more specifically, whatever's growing inside them. Kayla's eyes flared with alarm. Our children. It's bleeding their echo fields into the black, Irene said quietly. That's how they found us. Darren's hands curled into fists.
Sorry.
Can you disable it?
Kidding.
Rilo didn't answer. He yanked the shard out with a grunt, slammed it on the deck, and crushed it beneath his boot. It sparked, hissed, and died. Now I can.
Really sweet
the lights
about
flickered,
it, so
then
I
stabilized.
felt like I had to
The Cinderwolf
be
fell
the
back into
opposite,
silence.
you know?
But the damage was done. Kayla turned to Darren. Vorik will still come. He's too close. And we burn too bright. Then we make him come faster, Darren said.
So loud.
And we choose where he finds us. He turned toward the command console. Plotting a jump. I'm taking us to the Echo Rift. Rilo whipped around. That's suicide. That zone scrambles thought, wrecks drives. Which is why he won't expect it. Darren interrupted. If we can lose him in there, we buy time. If not, he glanced at Kayla. Then we make our last stand where no one can hear the screams. Sela stepped forward, voice quiet but firm. There are things in the Echo Rift. Old things. Not Consortium. Not Dovanii, Irene added. But they cannot hear minds. That is why we go. Rilo shook his head. You're all insane. No, Darren said, hands flying across the console. We're out of options. And with that, the Cinderwolf accelerated toward the edge of known space, toward the swirling, psionic-choked abyss where thoughts died and monsters dreamed. The Cinderwolf trembled as it approached the Echo Rift. It wasn't a place so much as a boundary, where the physical laws of space bent around an invisible, psychic scar left by some forgotten war or ancient catastrophe. No map accurately charted it. No ship that entered came out unchanged. Darren sat at the helm, his jaw tight. Last chance to object, he said without looking back. Rilo, pale and sweating, muttered, Oh, I'm objecting. Loudly. Just not stopping you. The sisters stood behind them, each silent, their bodies swaying slightly, as if already sensing the approaching storm. Kayla's markings shimmered subtly, like moonlight on deep water. We must stay linked, she said softly, or the rift will pull your thoughts apart. Darren glanced over. Linked how? Kayla stepped beside him and extended her hand. Through touch. Through mind. Trust us. He hesitated, then reached out and took her hand. The moment their skin met, a pulse surged up his arm. Not painful, but disorienting. Like a gust of memory, but not his own, laughter on an alien world, moonlight through crystal trees, Kayla's first song. Behind him, Rilo let out a yelp. They're touching me. Sela and Irene had each placed a hand on his shoulders, forming a chain between the four of them. Kayla nodded. Now we sing. What, right now? Rilo squeaked. While flying into mind death? But it was already happening. The sisters began to hum, not loud, but deep and resonant. The song vibrated through the ship, aligning with the pitch of the engines, the tremor of the hull. The hum formed a protective resonance, like an anchor of consciousness holding them against the psychic tides ahead. Outside the viewport, the rift opened. It looked like torn silk in space, pulsing with colors that didn't exist on any spectrum. The stars beyond bent like light seen through water. Whispers curled at the edge of hearing. Foreign languages, memories that weren't theirs, the dreams of dead civilizations. Steady, Darren muttered. Keep the song going. The ship breached the threshold.
Okay.
Instantly, Darren felt as if someone had reached into his skull and scattered his thoughts like feathers in a windstorm. His vision blurred. His hands slipped from the controls. Then Kayla's grip tightened. Stay with me, her voice rang, not aloud, but inside him. His vision cleared. The controls stabilized. The whispers receded. Holy shit! Rilo gasped. I just remembered my birth. I was born in a bathtub. Kayla didn't respond. She and her sisters were glowing now, their eyes blackened with resonance. Their minds were the only thread holding the crew together. Darren checked the sensors. No sign of Vorik's ship. For now. But in the rift, nothing stayed hidden for long. Hours passed, or minutes. Time didn't work right in the Echo Rift. The Cinderwolf drifted between ruptures of space and thought. Darren stayed locked to the controls, sweating despite the cold air. Kayla hadn't released his hand. Nor had the hum of the sisters stopped. If it had, he suspected they'd all be drooling wrecks or worse. Rilo was unusually quiet, eyes fixed on a blank wall like he was watching something no one else could see. Sela sat beside him, one hand gently pressed to his temple, keeping his thoughts intact. Suddenly, Iron gasped. Her head snapped toward the viewport. He's here. Darren sat up straighter. Vorik? No, not him. She swallowed. Something else. Darren scanned the readings. Nothing on sensors. That's because it's not a ship. Kayla murmured. It's a thought form. What the hell is that? Rilo asked, finally snapping out of his trance. Kayla's eyes shimmered like deep oil. It's a predator made of memory. It hunts in psionic zones, fed by emotion, pain, grief, desire. And it smells all of that on us. Darren muttered. The ship shuddered. Just once. A soft tremor like something brushing past the hull. Lights flickered. Kayla and her sisters began to sing louder, now a three-tone harmony that throbbed in Darren's bones. He felt his memory shifting, being pressed back into place by their voices. Then something appeared outside. It didn't make sense, because it wasn't a thing. It was a silhouette of pure void, outlined by stolen thought. A smear of regret and rage, swimming through the rift like a shark in dreams. Darren's skin crawled. Can it breach the hull? It doesn't need to, Iron whispered. It breaches minds. Then what the hell do we do? Nothing, Kayla said. You do nothing. Let us shield. Sela joined her sisters at the center of the deck. The hum became a chant, the chant became a vibration, and the vibration became a shield. A faint glow spread from their bodies outward, casting strange geometric patterns across the ship walls, sigils older than the consortium. Older than Dovanii. The creature halted. Then, like mist before a sunrise, it dissipated. Silence returned. Darren wiped sweat from his brow. Well, he muttered. That was worse than any pirate I've ever dealt with. Now you see why we chose this place, Kayla said. He nodded. Yeah. No sane person would follow us here. But even as the words left his mouth, a blinking signal lit up on the comm panel. Scratch that, Rilo groaned. Looks like we've got company after all. The comm signal pulsed again. No ID, no encryption, just a raw spike of power. Darren stared at the console, jaw tightening. That's him. Kayla didn't need to ask. She felt it. The weight. The hunger. The way the rift itself trembled in response to the thing that had entered it. Not a ship. Not entirely. But something inhabiting one. Warped. He brings his mind with him, she said, voice tight. Everywhere he goes, Iron added. People forget themselves. Except us, Sela whispered. The viewport flickered. Space around them folded like cloth, and Vorik's vessel appeared. jet black,
Right.
clawed like an insect,
Well, you
and pulsing with red psionic veins. It didn't move like a ship. It twitched. It hungered. Rilo took one look and muttered,
I do see
"Nope.
that.
Nope. That thing's made of nightmares and bad
okay,
choices."
so on the
Kayla moved beside Darren.
instructions, for the most
He wants the
part,
children. He
they
wants
do
our
a
bond.
really good job
He's
of
not
being
getting either,
like,
Darren said.
next
The
stitch,
comms hissed to life.
next stitch,
No words.
next stitch.
Just breathing.
So
A wet,
I think
hungry
I
inhale.
just was like,
Then a voice. Rich,
yes,
predatory,
I have to
too
do
close despite the
one
distance.
stitch.
Captain Voss,
Yeah, that's fair.
you've taken my
It does make
songbirds.
sense.
Darren's jaw clenched. They're free now. They're mine. Thoric growled. You smell like them.
Your
You carry them.
cat is
Kayla
not-
flinched.
is utterly
Darren stepped between her
outrageous,
and the
not
screen.
allowed to sit
You're
in
not
wet
touching them.
fabric.
Vorik laughed, a low, metallic rasp.
Yeah.
Then die with them. The comm cut.
Doesn't
weapons locked
sound
on.
like a good
Darren grabbed the helm.
combination.
Hold tight. The Cinderwolf dove. A blast ripped through their former position, turning vapor into lightning.
Half,
The rift
yeah,
howled.
half.
Vorik's ship followed, moving far too fast for its size, claws scraping reality. We can't outrun that. Rilo shouted. He's too fast. Kayla's eyes flashed. Then we don't run. What? We anchor. Kayla turned to her sisters. Now. Sela and Iron joined hands with her. Together they began to sing, not a hum, not a chant, but a full song. One that pulled at the very fabric of the rift.
And then,
Reality twisted around them. And the Cinderwolf
yeah,
stopped.
Okay.
Everything stilled. They had become fixed,
Figuring it out.
anchored in the
Figuring
psychoscape.
it out.
Vorik's ship overshot, skidding through thought space like a hunting animal that missed the scent trail. He can't find us,
That's why I
Kayla
make
whispered,
sure that
trembling.
you had,
Not yet, Iron warned.
number
Darren
of
stared in awe.
stitches left.
What did you just do?
Side.
We became memory, Kayla said. Invisible in the
Think
rift.
that's something
Rilo looked around
like,
nervously.
uh,
For how long? Long enough,
along some-
Sela replied. To make a plan. And in the silence that followed, they all knew the real fight hadn't even begun. The Cinderwolf hovered,
just
frozen in
wanted
a
to
pocket
make
of twisted
sure.
spacetime like a ghost ship forgotten by reality.
No, I
Around
really
them, the echo
appreciate
rift
that.
flowed in
And
fractured
if you
silence.
did tell me about
Even the stars outside the
little
viewport looked
days,
wrong, like they were holding their breath. Kayla collapsed to her knees. Sister! Iron knelt beside her.
Oh, I
She's drained,
missed it.
Sela whispered. We all are.
I had
Kayla's
to
skin
do
had
it, I
dimmed,
had to
her
do it.
bioluminescent markings flickering erratically. Her voice was barely audible.
I think you did
We
that
can't
right.
anchor again. That was our limit.
No, I didn't.
Darren
include
helped her
the
to a seat,
tail
his hand
the way
lingering
that
on
I did
hers.
the first
Oh,
time.
You saved us.
I see.
All of us. Kayla managed a weak smile. You're part of us
Got
now.
a bing
You
bong
feel it.
before your name.
He did.
Wait, I call
Deep in his
bing
gut,
bong
in his chest. Her
as
pain,
well.
her fading
Bing.
strength. Their bond
We-
wasn't just emotional anymore. It was
Bing
biological,
bong.
psychic,
Bing
spiritual. And growing. Rilo paced near the rear system's console. Okay, cool.
Do have
So
bing
now we're
bong.
ghosts in the rift, and the guy with the screaming murder ship is out there sniffing around like a starving wolf. What's the play? We hit back, Darren said. Rilo blinked. With what? Harsh language? We're not helpless, Kayla said, voice strengthening. We may not
that's
anchor again,
Cute.
but we can
What's
call.
that for?
Call who? Kayla turned her gaze on him, and for the first time since they'd met, her tone changed, commanding, regal. Our people.
Recently.
The scattered Dovanii. The survivors. The old defenders. If we reach them. Darren understood. Then Vorik's not just chasing us anymore. He's walking into a war. Exactly. Sela stepped forward. There's a song we haven't sung in generations. One that opens the eye. The ancient gate. A place where the last fleet waits. The last fleet? Rilo frowned.
That was.
Wait, you're saying there's a hidden Dovanii armada just floating out there? Kayla nodded. They sleep, protected by resonance fields. They wait for a signal from the Triune. And that's you? All three. Iron said, taking her
Okay.
sister's hands. United,
I'm
we are the
working
key.
on the
Darren
corner.
swallowed.
Yes.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Time,
Yeah.
Kayla said.
That's
And the
what you
ship's
have.
emitter systems. We must amplify our voice
Okay.
across the rift. Rilo threw up his hands. Great. Singing into space again. You better not get in my head this time. No promises. Sela smirked. Darren pulled up the ship's emitter interface. Tell me what frequency. Kayla moved beside him, her hand resting atop his. No. We show you. And as the console lit up, their thoughts poured into his, and he saw what they saw. A forgotten fleet sleeping behind a veil of stars. And now, at last, it was time to wake them. The emitter bay pulsed with crimson standby lights as Rilo reconfigured the Cinderwolf's outdated broadcast array. Cables snaked across the floor. The sisters stood in the center, eyes closed, arms intertwined. They're tuning themselves, Darren whispered. Like, literally? Rilo asked. Like living antennae, Darren said. Their harmonics will drive the signal. Kayla opened her eyes, gold irises fully dilated. We will sing the call of the choir. The old signal. Once it summoned protectors. Now, it will summon vengeance. Sela and Iron began humming. A deep, layered tone like tectonic plates shifting under the sea. Kayla joined them. Their combined voices resonated through the ship's hull. Lights flickered. Consoles shuddered. The Cinderwolf itself seemed to listen. Rilo winced. My molars are vibrating. Outside, the rift responded.
You're
Clouds
like,
of psychic mist churned,
just
drawn
in
toward the ship.
case, I
Static
feel
charged the hull,
like-
wrapping it in a thin film of bioluminescence. Energy readings spiked. It's working, Kayla said, voice vibrating in strange echoes. We're breaching the veil. Darren watched the console.
Yeah.
Symbols, not human, flashed across the screen. Glyphs from Dovanii language, from their culture's deep past. His eyes unfocused for a moment. His breath caught. He understood them. Kayla smiled. Our bond grows stronger. Then the rift split. Not with violence, but reverence. A corridor of calm parted the chaos, like a throat opening in song. From its depths emerged shadowy forms, hundreds of them. Ships sleek and curved, crafted not of steel but of crystal and bone. Feline designs. Glowing sigils. Engines powered by resonance. The choir fleet. They came, Sela whispered, awestruck. Iron's face was streaked with tears. After all this time, they heard us. The calm crackled.
Okay.
A voice, ancient
now
and
we're
clear,
just
filled the
doing
bridge.
regular.
Triune blood confirmed. Welcome, daughters of the Echo. You summon the last voice of our people. We answer. Darren's heart pounded. Kayla turned to him, cheeks flushed with exertion. We are no longer prey, Captain. With you, with your blood, we are future. He nodded. Then let's make sure we survive to see it. But even as they prepared to link with the choir fleet, another signal flared behind them. Vorik had found them.
1, 2,
The sensor screen lit up in a storm of red. Vorik's ship had arrived,
It's a
ripping through the
little
rift corridor with impossible force.
on
The void around it howled, folding inward as if recoiling from his presence. He didn't just follow their signal, he fed on it, tracking their emotions like scent on blood.
Yeah.
Shields up, Darren barked. All of them. We don't have shields, Rilo shouted. We have a reinforced hull, a prayer, and some duct tape. Kayla stepped forward, her sisters flanking her. He cannot reach us if we stay within the choir's veil.
I'll
Iron
figure
narrowed
it
her
out
eyes.
after.
But he'll try. The choir fleet began to shift formation. Like a murmuration of birds, their vessels wove into a loose wall around the Cinderwolf, forming a protective crescent of light and resonance. The calms flared again, this time, from Vorik. The voice that emerged wasn't human anymore. It was wet and echoing, like something spoken underwater by a beast trying to sound civilized. Found you. Kayla flinched. He's inside the walls. What? He's not speaking, he's invading. Trying to push into our minds. Darren gripped the arm of his seat.
Oh,
Can he?
Okay.
No,
And
Kayla said,
now
eyes
I'm
glowing.
doing
But he's
a
trying.
half.
Vorik's voice rasped again.
Mhm.
You bonded with a human? How grotesque. How primitive. You think that will save you? We didn't bond to be saved, Kayla whispered. We bonded to fight. Sela stepped to the emitter controls.
I'm here to
The choir won't attack
entertain
unless we lead them.
y'all.
Then let's lead, Darren said. Target Vorik's ship. Rilo stared at him. With what? We're a rust bucket freighter. With them, Darren replied, nodding at the fleet outside. Kayla looked at her sisters. Together? They joined hands. Their skin shimmered.
Okay.
Their song deepened, not soft like before, but fierce.
Guys,
Warborn.
I'm basically
The choir
an
fleet responded
expert
instantly.
now, so
Dozens
let
of ships
me
lit up.
teach you how to
Their hulls
crochet.
pulsed with light. From their cores, threads of condensed resonance energy fired, elegant and silent, straight at Vorik's vessel.
Yeah.
Vorik screamed.
This
Not over the
is-
comms.
yeah.
Inside their heads.
Okay.
The feedback
That
was
a
unbearable.
half double
Darren grabbed his
crochet.
temples. Make it stop. Push him out. Kayla yelled.
And then I have
Sela
to
and Iron sang
do
louder, notes
two
colliding, harmonizing,
double
driving the intruder back.
crochets.
And
The
then,
next
silence.
one, which
On screen,
means
Vorik's ship
you
shuddered.
are
Its claws
wrapping
curled inward.
over,
The red veins across its
You're
hull pulsed erratically. But it wasn't dead.
stabbing
It was changing.
You're
Darren, Kayla
twisting
whispered.
the guts.
He's doing something
You're
new.
pulling them
And for the first time, the Triune looked afraid.
You're
Vorik's vessel
going
cracked open.
over
It didn't explode.
more
It peeled,
intestines,
like a chrysalis splitting to reveal
and
something darker,
you're
something worse.
wrapping it up.
From the wreckage
You're
emerged a new shape,
twisting
no
it
longer
through
bound to the
two
rules of
them,
metal or matter.
Right?
It pulsed with
You
living
gotta
tissue,
make it
lined
really
with jagged
pretty.
bone. Wings of psionic force
And then,
stretched outward like warped
once
antennae,
more,
absorbing
and
the
then
rift's
you
energy like a
do
leech
it
drinking the
again,
thoughts of a
and
god.
you're just
Darren
really
stared in horror.
scrambling it up.
That's not a ship
Okay.
anymore. Kayla's voice trembled.
That's really
It's him.
what's happening.
His true form. He's devouring his own
You're
mind.
scrambling
Iron
it.
gasped. Burning his memories to fuel his evolution.
And then,
Why? Rilo
let
asked,
me
backing toward the wall.
see.
Sela
That
answered coldly.
was
To match us.
a
The thing outside
double,
screamed.
so
Not
I
audibly,
need to
but
do
psionically.
another
A pulse of pain slammed into the hull. The lights dimmed.
double,
Consoles sparked. Kayla dropped to one knee.
I think.
He's challenging the choir. He wants to break their song,
So,
replace it with his own.
you
Darren pulled
twist
Kayla to
my
her feet.
guts,
What
you
happens if he does? Then the last of
stab
my people forget who they
it,
are.
twist
she whispered.
again,
They
pull
fall
it
silent.
out.
Forever. Darren turned to the
What is
bridge.
this?
No. Not today.
This
He
is
grabbed the override for the resonance array. Tell me what happens if I sink this ship to you.
Still.
Fully.
Okay.
Kayla blinked. What?
Do it again.
Connect the ship's
Only
systems to your
go
song.
through two.
Let it carry your voices. Let it fight with you.
Only go
You'd be
through
caught
two.
in it.
See,
Iron
there we
warned.
go. And then we
You're
got
human.
two of them.
You could lose yourself.
See?
Darren nodded.
Look how
I'd rather
pretty
lose myself than
this
lose you. Kayla looked to her sisters.
There
Sela
it
nodded.
is.
Iron touched her shoulder.
Crochet, but
Then they reached for
metal.
Darren, forming a circle.
Exactly.
Their hands linked. The bridge filled with light. Suddenly Darren was inside their minds, inside their song.
Realized.
He saw their childhood on
It's
Violet
not
Hills,
gory enough.
their fear in the cages, their joy in freedom.
I'm so
their love for him.
Sorry,
He sang with them.
Ducky.
Outside, the choir echoed his voice.
I'm
Vorik paused.
also not
He felt the
sorry.
change. No. His voice shattered across their
To
thoughts.
do
You're
the
mine.
corner,
I own your blood.
it
But Darren's voice rang
requires
back like a
lot
hammer.
more
You never had them.
twisting of the
You never
guts,
will.
so you have to
The
do
choir
it
surged.
twice,
Dozens
right?
of ships fired as one.
And then
Vorik's vessel screamed,
you
his body boiling in the rift light.
stab it
The scream
in.
shattered, fractured,
Yeah,
and then fell silent.
pull
completely.
it through.
Forever. The rift quieted. Not with stillness, but with
Yeah.
relief. As though the space itself exhaled after holding its breath for too long.
There we go.
Vorik was gone. Not just defeated,
And
erased.
you
No
basically
wreckage.
just keep doing
No
that
remains.
for a while.
only the faint echo of his collapse rippling outward, like the final pulse
Yeah,
of a
this
dying
person
star.
really wants
Darren
their
collapsed to his
guts
knees,
scrambled,
gasping.
I guess.
The bond, it was
It's
still alive inside
Valentine's
him,
Day.
but raw, burned through. His thoughts felt stretched thin across too many dimensions, his body buzzing like it was humming in the same pitch as the ship. Kayla cradled his face between her glowing hands. You stayed. Of course I did, he rasped. I told you. I'm in this. All the way. Her eyes shimmered gold and soft. He tried to rewrite us. You rewrote him. Iron and Sela knelt beside them, their foreheads touching Darren's shoulders in quiet gratitude. Their light was dim now, flickering gently. But it was warm, like the embers of something holy. The choir fleet drifted around them. One by one, the vessels opened calms. A new voice spoke, not the ancient one from before, but younger. Female. Steady. This is Commander Viren of the 3rd Choir Vessel Morelight. Signal confirmed. Triune bond validated. And her voice softened, reverent. You've awakened the Echo-born. Darren raised an eyebrow. The what now? Kayla helped him up. Us. You. Our children. You were never just human. Not anymore. You carry resonance now. Commander Viren continued. We've waited centuries to follow one who could bridge the species. Who could sing in both directions. Darren laughed, dry and dazed. I was just trying to fix an oxygen filter. Sela giggled. Now you're father to a new people. Rilo entered the bridge, hair singed, pants soaked in coolant. Okay, are we alive or dead? Alive, Iron said. Because of him. Rilo squinted. He looks dead. Kayla turned to the comms. What now, Commander? Viren's voice answered, steady and clear. Now we return. The choir awakens. We rebuild. And we begin the trials of the new age. Darren sat down hard in the pilot's chair. Do I get a break first? Kayla leaned down and kissed his temple. Soon. But first. Her hand slid to her abdomen, glowing softly. You meet your daughter. 3 weeks later, the Cinderwolf touched down on a lush moon known only as Velithar, a hidden world nestled in the cradle of the outer spiral. The choir had brought them here, homeworld of the old Dovanii Triune, a place lost to history and cloaked in resonance storms that defied even consortium sensors. Now it stirred again. The air was heavy with blooms that sang in the wind. Towering crystal trees arched across valleys like cathedral spires. Energy shimmered in the soil itself, humming faint notes as Darren walked. He stood at the edge of a newly constructed dome overlooking the valley. His arm was in a sling. He fractured something during the bond surge, and his ribs still ached. But his heart had never been so full. Behind him, the Triune moved with slow grace. Sela carried one infant. Iron cradled another. Kayla walked toward him, her violet skin glowing beneath a sheer tunic, a tiny girl wrapped in her arms. The child opened her golden eyes, and Darren swore he saw stars in them. She knows you, Kayla whispered. She felt you before she was born. He reached out, hesitated, then gently cradled his daughter in his arms. The baby's skin was cool but vibrant, flecked with human tones beneath her bioluminescence. Her tiny fingers reached up and brushed his chin. And something flickered behind his eyes. A thought, not his. I know you. He gasped. She spoke to me. She sang to you. Kayla corrected softly. They're already attuned. Echo-born. Half human, half Dovanii, bonded by resonance. Sela smiled. And born of love. The others gathered in a circle around him. From the hillside below, Dovanii elders approached. Behind them, humans from the choir accord, a new diplomatic envoy sent by the Terran Alliance, stunned by what they'd witnessed weeks earlier. The fall of Vorik. The truth of the blood trade. The awakening of the fleet. And the birth of the next generation. Rilo walked up beside Darren and leaned in. So, what now? You gonna be a captain again, or just a royal baby daddy? Darren chuckled.
It's really
Can I be both?
interesting and
You're the only guy I know who
interesting.
overthrew a galactic predator and got 3 alien queens pregnant in the same month. Kayla elbowed Rilo playfully. We're not queens, she said with a grin. We're singers. Keepers of memory. And now mothers. Darren looked at his child. She had stopped fussing and was staring into the sky as if listening to some far-off call. What's her name? Rilo asked. Darren glanced at Kayla, who nodded. Her name, Darren said, is Ellerin. He looked out over Velithar, this forgotten paradise, at the gathered people, at the sleeping ships of the choir, and the promise of unity shimmering in every echo. It had begun with a cage, a broken filter, and a choice. It ended here, with new life, new purpose, and a love that defied stars.
Funny.
Darren held his daughter close, and in the quiet that followed, she sang her first note. A perfect, beautiful note. The first verse of a new galaxy.